George Melies was a dreamer. He followed those dreams by inventing cinematic techniques that are still used today. His legacy can be seen in films more than 100 years after his inventions were created. His dreams are now being followed almost every day. Melies made tom-toms as used in Metropolis. The split screen as used in a Michael Gordon film.
Hello?
Miss Morrow, my name is Brad Allen.
Yes?
I've been advised by the phone company that there's a code number for our party line. It's 793. Now, if you have any future complaints to make, I suggest you dial it and complain to me personally.
Double exposure and the first dissolve as used in Taylor Swift's style. French filmmaker, inventor, actor, and magician George Melies changed the way we make movies now. George Melies made several inventions for the movies and theater in the early 1900s. He made many inventions that changed many ideas about the movies. George Melies was always interested in drawing, puppetry, and stage design. That affected him because he needed these skills for making his movies. He went to school at École des Beaux Arts in Paris, France, which is an intelligent art school. He studied stage design, puppetry, and drawing. After that, he went to London, England for further studies to gain more knowledge in stage design and puppetry. He then decided to become a magician in London when Melies saw illusions being performed. But he needed money. His father owned a shoemaking company which he worked at after London. Later, he bought a theater from the money he saved and his dowry, which is a gift from the wife when people got married. He was soon making money from his theater and was able to perform new illusions on stage. Later, Melies saw the Lumiere brothers, the men who created the first films, show the first film. Melies was determined to make his own camera and films. He soon was showing films at his theater too, developing into a devotion of his life to films. He made his own company called Star Films. According to the George Melies official website, he directed, acted, and financed most of his films, and made over 500 films, like A Trip to the Moon and The Haunted Castle. The Haunted Castle is considered the first horror film. Some films have been recovered, and some are lost. George Melies invented the split screen, double exposure, and the first dissolve. Split screen is when they show many different places or scenes at once. Double exposure is when they show the outline of something like a tree and then add something inside of it to make it look like another thing. Dissolve is when the picture is overlapped by another picture, but you can still see the first picture. George Melies' legacy through inventions was not short-lived. George Melies was recognized in France and North America. Quote, George Melies, French pioneer who died recently, was blatantly acknowledged as the inventor of the mechanical camera tricks that made possible Lang's Metropolis, said Armorio, Sunday News Globe, May 22, 1938. George Melies' inventions helped make many movies possible by inventing several tricks for the films. Melies made several movies of many genres. George Melies had a legacy and was a leader because he directed and managed a theater which he continued to work at even after he stopped making movies. George Melies deserves all the glory he can get. He was given the Legion of Honor, an important award like our Nobel Peace Award from France, and was given a rent-free apartment to live in for the rest of his life. George Melies lived to be 77 and died with cancer. George Melies lived from 1861 to 1938. He made 500 films in his life. George Melies made many things that inspired many people, including Walt Disney, a band called Smashing Pumpkins, who made one of their music videos based off of George Melies' movies, and Brian Smelsnick, the author of Invention Hugo Cabaret, which had a movie made out of it. As early as the turn of the century, Georges Méliès in France discovered that movies could show magic in a way that the stage never could manage, said Canton Herald, January 4th, 1945. Georges Méliès was recognized even here in the USA. He left the paths for many people to follow. Georges Méliès was one of the best filmmakers and inventors in the movie industry.